Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 260 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news as those we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my co-hosts, where all three types of shirt are represented.
That was quite the way to
Nice.
say it, Barry. My
Nice.
name's Craig.
My name is also Craig. Heaviest of the shirts.
Heaviest of
guess.
the shirts. Yes, we go from
Yep.
heavy to light here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Craig,
a good, good transition.
You're in the short sleeve here. I want to
Yeah.
ask, is it warm where you are?
It is.
Okay.
It's warm. Just this portion of the day, sunlight's kind of creeping in, but it was cold this morning, but it's warm now.
Because it's freezing in my place, and I imagine Craig's also, it's
Yes.
cold over there, too.
It's pretty cold. Yep.
What hasn't gone cold is the news. It's not dead. It's alive.
Yeah,
True.
that's true.
Which we have a little bit to go over. So there's a decent amount of weeks of stuff to cover, so we'll get into it. Pretty much the most recent one is Halo Campaign Evolved was announced by Halo Studios. What was 343 or 313?
Yep. 343.
343
Mhm.
Studios. And they announced Halo Campaign Evolved coming next year to all platforms, PS5 included. This is just kind of a revamp of and a remastering of the original. If you look at what the original was compared to what this is going to be, this is probably going to be a much more modern take for people to be able to try Halo, and also for every single one of us that played the first Halo to try something with not as slow and clunky controls as well. Didn't announce a price. What do you guys think it is at?
$600.
70.
You
I
think
think.
70?
69.99 probably.
Yeah.
I'm of like I'm hoping it's 50 because it is just a campaign that's remastered. But we'll.
Did they say if there's multiplayer or not?
No, so well.
Oh, did they?
I did not see that. The one thing I saw with it was that some of these maps are going to be remastered, I believe. So I do I do think there is, but I know guns are being added to it as well.
Okay.
Some guns that weren't in it, like the Needler or the battle rifle as well. I can look and see just to see what.
I was just curious because that could be interesting. I don't know if people who have never played it and are buying it on PlayStation would care about multiplayer or not.
Yeah, but there's some classic maps and
There is.
and stuff from that. Like
it will not have multiplayer.
Okay. Co-op?
Yes, it will have co-op.
Okay.
They did like a couple things with, like, now there's 4 seats in a Warthog, so that way you can do it with 4 people. There's
Nice.
going to be some prequel missions with, I think his name is Captain Shepard.
Okay. So they're adding
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, they're adding like a couple
Okay.
things, but I just think that if it's just going to be the campaign, hopefully it's just like a $50,
Yeah.
remake, and because it doesn't include multiplayer, hopefully it's not 70.
How much was Gears? Was that 70?
I don't even know because I played it on Game Pass.
So did I. I'm gonna look it up on the PlayStation Store and just see because that's kind of the same thing, right? But that did have multiplayer. Let's see. 40.
Okay,
So yeah, $39.99.
hopefully 40 then.
Yeah,
I think that's a good ballpark if you don't add multiplayer to a historically multiplayer game. Like,
Yeah.
well, so I think that's fair, but we probably won't see it. We'll probably, if anything, we might see it closer to Craig's
70.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
We then have another Nintendo Direct with a couple things. The main thing that Nintendo Direct covered was the Kirby Air Riders Direct, which showed more off of the game, which actually comes out in November, in case you forgot. I completely forgot it comes out in November.
Me too.
And while it looks like more of a good Kirby's Air Riders game, I plan on getting it eventually, maybe not at release, but they also showed off new amiibos again, which is like, okay, you're trying to really get us to buy these amiibos, which, like, people, if you're upset with the prices of amiibos now, you cannot be buying these. Like, you have to you have to tell Nintendo like, hey, I do not want to buy these at this price, kind of deal.
Right.
They're going to be expensive, and the fact that you're going to be able to swap them out with different riders and different vehicles only makes it a bit more confusing and a bit more of a pain if you're trying to, if you're, especially if like you're someone that collects Nintendo stuff. This is definitely going to be a headache
Yep.
for you. So I am glad that we are getting these directs from them, but I
Mhm.
just don't know really what the point is. Like Kirby Air Riders isn't going to sell the Switch 2, at least in my eyes. Like it is a classic for us that played Kirby Air Rider on the GameCube, but is it going to be anything that really moves consoles? We'll see.
No,
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
We did get Pikmin 4 updates, which they added like new like costume Pikmin, which is kind of surprising.
Mhm.
We also got Luigi's Mansion on GameCube Classic. So if you have that, you can
Yes.
play the original Luigi's Mansion. But just some small updates here and there. And then also you had Pokemon Legends ZA releases and sells between 3 and 6 million over 1 week. So Pokemon does Pokemon stuff. And it's
Not surprised.
Nope.
in a weird sense of news, and I'm not sure if anybody else noticed this, the PlayStation Gear store is shutting down. This store is where you could get branded PlayStation gear and branded merchandise, whether it was The Last of Us, Forbidden Horizon Forbidden West, Returnal, Forspoken. In case you forgot about that PlayStation exclusive, that store is shutting down December 31st. If you go and look at it now, there's a big banner that says the store is shutting down, all sales are final, and things are on a steep discount, if you ask me. You can get some decently licensed PlayStation stuff without having to spend the regular prices that they want. So, while things are selling out quite quickly, just be aware that if you're buying it, make sure maybe if you're worried about a size, go a size up or something like that, and use it for a while, because it seems I never knew PlayStation really to have a lot of their gear out, and like people I don't really think are buying this stuff, so I think they're trying to abandon the gear department if you're asking me. But
Right.
it was there was no statement or anything that I saw from PlayStation that says that the PlayStation Gear store is shutting down, just that it is.
Yeah. Side note for those that are interested, the Horizon Forbidden West complete soundtrack on vinyl is normally 170. It's on sale for 109.
Oh wow,
It's a
I
pretty
have
good
it.
deal. Do you?
that is.
I have it.
There you go. I'm just kind of perusing through. There's some decent stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like
yeah,
if you're looking for clothing, like and apparently too, Craig, there are some like promo codes that you can put in to get additional discounts.
okay.
So
Okay.
they're probably looking to move a lot of their stuff here and just get it shut down, so that way they don't have to lose it. But
Right.
interesting to see that shutting down, just because I don't really, the only other place that I even sells like a little bit of merchandise is like Nintendo, but they have their physical stores and stuff like that. I guess
Right.
Sony was trying to do the same thing, but it never really took flight.
Yeah. Just saw some Helldivers gear too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to check that out after we're done.
Halo 4 Anniversary Edition releasing November 10th. Why more Fallout why more Fallout is beyond me, but we'll see what they decide to do with that, because it's going to be dropping around the same time as the new TV show, so they're trying to pump up numbers there. And finally, from my end, we have Elden Ring Switch 2 version has been delayed until 2026. Nobody's really heard any word on why, but I don't know. For me, like we are already getting like an exclusive Dark Souls-ish game
Right.
from that studio. I don't really know why we need to see Elden Ring also go to Switch 2. I know
Yeah.
it's for the sake of sales, but the game's not going to offer anything. It isn't already on a platform that people can't get a hold of. It's literally on everything. So
Do we have a date for the Souls esque Switch
Nope.
2 game that's coming out? Okay.
Nothing. That was all you had?
that was all I had.
Okay. The only other thing I had was just the rumblings about Microsoft's next console. I don't know if you guys saw all the kind of like hints and stuff that were being dropped.
Yep.
Mhm.
Phil Spencer saying to kind of look at the the handheld is kind of the future of what they want to do. But the things that kind of jumped out at me was um, a combination where, kind of like the handheld, your Xbox games and your PC games are all in one place. But the biggest thing was no paywall for multiplayer. That's kind of floating out there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, considering they're hiking up the prices on everything, that they
Mhm.
Right.
would consider doing a free multiplayer, but also at the same time saying that this is going to be a premium product. So I'm assuming, if 5, 6, what are we at now for a Series X? 7?
Yeah,
It's
it's like
yeah, I think
720
it's 7.
something.
Yeah,
Are we looking at 1,000? Probably.
probably.
And are people going to buy it? Probably not. Let's be honest. People are kind of jumping ship on Microsoft right now. Um,
Don't you think it's wild that right now, depending on what Xbox hardware you buy, you can get the actual game console for less than the handheld
yeah.
that they're offering? Like,
hmm
I don't think that registered as we've been making fun of the price hikes, throughout these last bunch of podcasts we've been doing. But that's wild to me. So I'm interested to see what the pricing on the new console would be.
Yeah, the main rumors I saw was that this is going to be, and I hate that they're using this word more now, premium game
Yeah.
console, where I could see them kind of making a PC hybrid with Xbox kind of branding, and probably some sort of hybrid between the two, where it's a PC when you need it and it's a regular Xbox console when you don't.
Right.
You know, they're the main thing with premium is I hear like $1,000,
Yep.
200, $1,200
Hmm.
is what I'm thinking. And
Justifying it as a gaming PC.
yeah, exactly,
Right.
Yep.
justifying it as a gaming PC, because that's the market they're going for now. And a lot
Right.
of this, you think about it, not that Halo was untouchable, but Halo has kind of been the last bastion of like, hey, this is still on Xbox. You can only get it on Xbox. At this
Right.
point, now that we're getting Combat Evolved on, or Campaign Evolved on PS5, I just don't see why.
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking for the console platforming portion of things, there is no distinction now. You pretty much get PlayStation as your console, and then
Yeah.
if you want the Xbox branded PC, then have fun, I guess.
Right.
I thought it was funny too, and like obviously when we get into games played, I'll talk about the game itself. But whenever I play Powerwash Simulator, because the second one came out this week,
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
I always put podcasts on in the background while I'm doing it. That's just how I play that game. And listening to the Firescape podcast, and Dan Reichert was talking about their handheld, and kind of went into like, yeah, actually, this is like, it feels good, the battery is good, everything runs smooth. And the other two on the podcast immediately calling him out because he got it for free was hilarious. They're like, it's $1,000 and you got it for free. It is not, the typical person gamer is not going to spend $1,000 on a
Yeah.
handheld. Why would you? It makes no sense.
It would have to be your only
Yeah.
console, really.
Right.
And like, I
Yeah.
do understand that this thing also launches Steam,
Yeah.
but based off of the reviews I was reading, and for me it was Inside Games, they did a really deep dive of
Mhm.
like how some of the stuff, it is a PC in a lot of ways. You need to update the drivers, you need to do this stuff. And that's something that, like, not people who, if you're not computer literate and know that you need to update drivers and things like that, like, it's going to hurt the performance of your console. So I'm
Right.
interested to see if weeks from now or even months from now, when people need to start updating the drivers on these things so that they can run uh, not only Xbox but Steam and things like that. Like, do people know, heck, hey, this is how I update a driver? Because I imagine a lot of people are going to call Xbox and tell them, why isn't this working? Blah 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 blah, and then they go, oh, well, you need to update your drivers. And people go, what is that?
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, Barry, because like only in the last 5 years have I considered myself like using a gaming PC to game. Prior to that, I only used computers for productivity and, as people make fun of it, banking online or stuff like that. So when you're thinking about the public that's specifically a console gamer, they may not know drivers because you're not necessarily updating your drivers as frequently or even noticing when they do when you're not utilizing it for gaming PC purposes or something along those lines. So there could be that group out there that was, I guess, kind of like me, where that hybrid sense of it kind of having that PC nature is a little bit more foreign to them.
That was all I had, though.
I'm going to stay with Xbox because, I mean, who's creating the most news?
Yep.
I have a small rant. When discussing Xbox's future, there's been a lot of Phil Spencer, a lot of Sarah Bond, and Sarah Bond had something to say specifically about the future and gaming and multi-platform software releases. And in her statement, she was talking about Microsoft's shift away from exclusivity, calling it antiquated. Sorry, antiquated.
Antiquated.
Antiquated. Thank
There
you.
it
Good
is.
lord. Ooh, I need a spelling bee after this or something like that. Um, I think what sparked me there, as I guess negatively speaking about exclusivity, is like the foundation of gaming for a long time has been about exclusivities, and to hear one of the major figureheads of a company that is losing the console wars and kind of losing the gaming wars and subsequently hiking prices because they made maybe interesting decisions regarding Game Pass and other choices, purchasings of certain platforms, things like that. It kind of pains me to hear them say that, because when you're thinking about Nintendo is specifically exclusivity. Specifically, you're looking at somebody who, out of the last three Pokemon games, this is the first time his wife and himself have only bought one copy of Pokemon, regardless of how long they were going to play it. We're here arguing, we're not arguing, but discussing that we're going to put one exclusive in Kirby Air Riders on the back burner because a lot of us just got done playing another exclusive, which is Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
And when you jump to Sony, how many people were just foaming at the lips at seeing something like that Wolverine trailer on the backing of them literally having Spider-Man on PlayStation at least for a year before it moving to PC and such like that. Like this, like video games is exclusivity. And a lot of times the company that is winning is the company that understands that to some degree and doesn't mock it when trying to discuss what the future of your platform or the future of your spending is going to be. So I don't know. I never really had a problem with Sarah Bond. I always thought they threw her on there when there's some bad news so that she can kind of smile when she has to say the bad news, in addition to talking about hardware, because it seems like that's part of her to-do list. But that sounds like somebody that doesn't game or care about gaming. It sounded like that interview, she was supposed to hold that in and direct it towards like people like the grandmaster table who has all of the money invested in it, shareholders, things like that. Because like when you hear that as a gamer, I don't know. I know, how you pick specific moments that are like outside of your personality to get offended. I got offended when I heard that because that sounds like somebody that doesn't know. They don't. And I understand they're in an interesting position, and they have to make inevitably the decision, and a lot of the decisions that they made have angered a lot of people. But I don't know, what do you guys think of that? Like exclusivity should be looked over, or is not like, I don't know how you feel about that.
I feel like it's kind of ending. I think everybody has just kind of come to the conclusion that PlayStation's what you're going to buy. And I think Microsoft is also agreeing with that.
Yeah, I think what you see, and Craig, it's a really good observation, to be honest, but it's just like gaming isn't what it used to be.
Mm.
When we were built on exclusivity and things like that, we were built on games being like something that you bought, you eventually put down to pick up the next one. Gaming now is all about live services. You have Destiny
Right.
2 still being supported 10 years after the the release of Destiny 2. You have things like Fortnite not only expanding into a battle royale, but a music rhythm game and a racing game and a building game. You have things like Minecraft that also, like, at least Minecraft doesn't try to pick and pocket you every time. It's a one purchase and you kind of do what you want there. But it's the same thing with games that are coming out now. Marathon is supposed to be one of those games. Arc Raiders, while it's getting good reviews, is also something that's meant to be a more live service game. And it's all about taking up all of your free time. And games used to be something where it wasn't about, like, trying to be the one game that you play and go back to all of the time. was the same with all the battle royale craze when we all played Apex Legends and Call of Duty Warzone and things like that. Everybody was playing it for the sake of it was fun, and like the skins and the weapons that you bought, gave you some sort of status. And now that's all sort of starting to wind down. Take for example, on top of it too, like Xbox's failures on new IPs, where Sony has kind of just built, good IP after good IP. You have Xbox that tried to release, and let me just think of some of the failures. I'm going to start off with Fallout 76. We all knew I was starting off with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but
What about
that's
that?
still going.
What about the vampire game? What was that one?
I can't remember the name of that, but
Wait,
that was going to be my
sorry,
first
Redfall.
example.
Redfall.
Yeah,
there's
Redfall.
Yeah.
You have the Left 4 Dead like game that was a roguelike with cards that you
Yep.
picked.
oh yeah,
Like you have constant attempts by Xbox to try and build like new platforms and new IPs. These IPs just continue to fail. Um, they're not established, they're not good games by any means. So instead of Sony's being of like, okay, we bought them and then they built it. Take for example, Last of Us, Horizon, and even like Returnal for that example. You have Xbox buying studios and then going, you make us an exclusive, and then and then it falls flat. It doesn't drive up Game Pass, which is the only thing they seem to care about anymore. Uh, so while it's a nice addition, and it was built on exclusivity at first. We all had those console wars for as long as we had, but gaming just isn't that anymore, I guess. And this model of Game Pass seems to have steered Xbox in the direction that they're in now.
yeah. I Craig, I'm sorry. I had one small thing
There you
before
go.
I forget, and then I'll go. I have a message for Sony that I know they won't listen to because why would they care what I say? I think they
Mhm.
should just continue to pick one game a year and they should continue to make it exclusive because this time last year, Black Myth Wukong, literally people were buying PlayStation games for that game, like PlayStation consoles for that game. So if they want to continue making money in specific aspects, I think you bring up a great point, Barry. The climate is shifting. Um, but I think it would be interesting if Sony kind of maintains that exclusivity for only like the two games that year or the three because it just kind of reminds us what it was like,
Well, and it's
when you
worked for them.
yeah
It's
yeah
the biggest thing. It's worked.
yeah right
They've built
Works for
themselves
Nintendo
as
too.
yeah,
it works for Nintendo.
PlayStation has built themselves as the multi-platform but also exclusive kind of deal. Nintendo, you kind of go to Mario, you go to Pokemon, you go to Link and Legend of Zelda, and you go to Kirby and all of those franchises. Sony has made themselves, and the PlayStation team themselves have made it, hey, we have our exclusives, but we also play the games that you get on your PC and the games you get on your Xbox as well. So that's where I
Yeah
think that big difference is. And even Nintendo is trying to be more of like the multi-platform thing. But the issue is you've now confined yourself into a gaming to go device that doesn't
right
manufacture itself on a disc. Disc can hold more things, and Nintendo is still stuck on cartridges and can't hold
yeah
as much, and that's why you have the Game Key card
right
controversy as well. So I think like both of them are kind of staply and very firmly in their positions, where Xbox is scrambling like, hey, we've lost the last two console wars, so to speak. We've lost the exclusivities, like our games that are exclusive fall flat on their face. So now we just gotta go to, hey, anything can be an Xbox, or anything can
yeah
launch the game, the Xbox platform, just like Steam.
right right. Well, only time will tell with what uh, Microsoft's next move is. But they continue to make news for us to talk about. The only other thing that I had, which is also, I guess, money related, is Capcom, who we normally praise for the decisions they make or the games that they make. They're getting a lot of backlash for making the pay-per-view, the Street Fighter Finals pay-per-view events. And they cited sustainability as the reason. I'm actually not here, believe it or not, after that rant to argue about what they said, because I'm going to give Capcom a mulligan here. But Barry, the reason why I wanted to to mention it is like you had a good point there. Gaming is changing, and like, isn't it kind of hilarious that instead of maybe you and your friend talking about the MMA event that you're buying, that you a bunch of friends get together for a pay-per-view event and it's Street Fighter's finals. Like like when we're talking about gaming evolving, like could you picture being the pizza guy knocking on the door and hearing fighting on the inside and it's not a pay-per-view
I can't.
boxing match? It's freaking Ken, and Blanca, or I don't know. But uh that's all really I had. I just thought that was a funny thing because I don't know if we talked about the finals being pay-per-view for Street Fighter, but that's all I had for news.
No, we had not, but that is a good point considering you had things like the UFC are now not going pay-per-view anymore. It's just not what people do. So,
Right.
For video games, I guess are behind the eight ball there.
Yeah.
They don't need to be doing pay-per-view for something that only a couple thousand will buy.
Right.
So, let's get into games this week where I have a better opinion on Ghost of Yotei and I have put the hours into Pokemon Legends ZA.
I also played a decent amount of Yotei, but Powerwash Simulator 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and since it's spooky season, I've been playing through Dead Space on Impossible. But I don't really need to talk about that. That's just where the majority of my gaming time has gone.
My wife and I are still working on Silent Hill F. But I finished Ghost of Yotei. I have about a couple of hours of Pokemon Legends ZA, so I guess initial thoughts. We don't need to hear me talk about Super Mario Galaxy. It looks good. The game's still the game, and it looks good. There's my opinion on that. And then Keeper. I started Keeper as kind of my cozy game.
Kind of surprising, but no one started Ninja Gaiden 4 here.
I did.
He
Oh,
did.
okay.
Oh, I did.
He did.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Where do we want to start? Let's talk Ghost of Yotei from kind of everybody's point of view. We did Ghost of Yotei did cause its own little bit of news wave when IGN released an article about being tired of the PlayStation exclusive formula where it's more about all of these games recently that are exclusive are about family trauma or revenge and things like that. For the most part, I do enjoy Ghost of Yotei. It does feel like a better Ghost of Tsushima really in every way. Just unfortunately for me, I pretty much stopped playing it. I do like the training portion of things, but Pokemon came out and that kind of stopped everything dead in its tracks for me. I want to start Ninja Gaiden 4, and we have the Outer Worlds coming out, I think today.
Today, yep.
Yeah, today Outer Worlds 2 is out. And all I can think about is, unfortunately, stupid Pokemon and its exclusive Mega Stone that I need to get before the end of this week here. So,
No.
You're on a time crunch.
You're on a time crunch, man.
We'll talk about that when we get to Pokemon. But
oh boy.
Just overall, it's a beautiful game. I'm playing on PS5 Pro. I have no issues whatsoever. It looks crisp. It's clean, 60 frames, all of that fun stuff. And it's super cinematic. It's just really a matter of it's too bad it doesn't feel more different than Ghost of Tsushima in a lot of ways. It feels like I've kind of played this game before, but this is supposed to be the better version of it. So if I feel like if I could go back in time and play Ghost of Tsushima or Ghost of Yotei, I would pick Ghost of Yotei because it's that new experience all over again. Where Ghost of Tsushima, I've played this and this game seems familiar. Feels familiar.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. When I play it, I'm like, this game is phenomenal. It's probably one of the best games this year, but I just have not had the desire to go back and play it right now. It's a weird feeling. When I build up the momentum to turn on my PlayStation and play that, I'm like, yeah, this game's awesome, and I'll play it for a couple hours. I just have a hard time building that up. I don't know why. It was the same thing with Tsushima, though. I just, for whatever reason, I'm like, this game's awesome. I just don't want to play it. Weird. It's weird. It's a weird feeling.
Having finished it, I think it's a fantastic game. It's in my top 10, probably in my top 5 for the year. It's beautiful. The combat never gets old. It's pretty much kind of what you're doing. The whole game is trying to get to the next fight because I don't know, it just parrying and all the things that you can do with the different weapons. It just doesn't get old. Um I like the story. I know it got kind of panned, like critics were kind of half and half on the story, or at least not fully in the favor of. Regarding the comment that you read, Barry, I mean, a lot of games have trauma. Like I know you didn't say it, you read it, but like that's like complaining that every Disney movie had trauma. Okay, they did. I watched them all as a kid, and didn't, you know what I mean? Like whether you're watching Bambi or Lion King, which trauma do you want to pick? Same
Hmm.
thing with here. You know, it's about um, from the beginning. What's funny about Ghosts of Yotei is it had a flashy opening, and it. I don't think it got as flashy as that again. There are some parts, but like that was a heck of an opening. I was also kind of sad because of like that felt like to me like it reduced gameplay by opening that way. Um, because you didn't get to. Oh, well, I'm not going to spoil it for the people who didn't start, but uh, each region has its own sense to it. When you start to play through it, you kind of get an understanding on how the map feels vast but also limited. There was a section of the map that I thought was going to add another 15 hours to the game that I realized that the story was progressing that I wasn't actually going to go to. Um, but I do like her wolf pack. Well, certain wolf packs. I feel like they don't dive into everybody too much. But there's definitely an interesting band of characters in Ezo. Um, I like the main character. I mentioned the comments about the wolf before, how they really kind of advertised the wolf as being I don't know, like a partner who was you were going to see more, but as you play it, you realize that was less. But it's still a top 5 for me. It still looks great. The lo-fi tracks did not get old for me, and I have them all downloaded already, and I listen to them as I do things. So I think it's a great game. Um, Kind of an early thing here, though. I think that I still like Death Stranding 2 more, but I'm still going back and forth on that. I don't know. I think I like Death Stranding 2 more actually.
I
So
appreciate that Yotei is more condensed, shorter game, and like
Yeah.
more to the point, right?
yeah, you
Like,
you will. I got it done in 60 hours. I thought it was
okay.
going to be longer. I
Yeah.
got it done in 60 hours, and that was leaving like maybe 10 shrines I didn't get. And I did all of the bounties, all the side quests. 60 round
Yeah.
60, 61.
Hmm.
So let's see here. Do you want to go into pressure Power
Yeah.
Wash
Yeah. All
Simulator
right.
2?
I'll hit you with
Mm,
two of mine. Powerwash Simulator 2, more of the first one, but better. It's just one of those games that's like I love the first one to death. And like I said earlier, like it's my game to just put podcasts on and just mindlessly do things if I don't want to focus on a game too much. And that's a perfect game for me. So like I enjoy it a lot. There's a lot of quality of life upgrades to it that make it less frustrating than the first one. But if you didn't play the first one or you just didn't care about the first one, I don't know that this is going to bring you in, right? It's kind of like a niche thing. Like, do you enjoy cleaning things besides real life? Do you also like to do that in games? Then sure, you'll love it. But it is on Game Pass, so like this and also Ninja Gaiden 4, like I have actually been using my Xbox, which is kind of nice, right? Like Game Pass is getting me value this month. And also what Outer Worlds is today as well. So there's another one this month.
yeah,
That's a solid month for Game Pass.
it is.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if Power Wash Simulator is going to be in my top 10. Probably not. I'd have to go back and see what else I finished this year. But it's a really good game, honestly. So, I mean, my wife plays it a ton too. So, like, I did buy it on PlayStation as well, so she could play it
Nice.
up there while I'm playing down here. Ninja Gaiden 4. Barry, I know you did not like the remake that came out earlier this year. This game you will love.
From what I saw, yes.
Yes. Less Ninja Gaiden, more just Platinum Games Like the over the top like violence and gore is there, which is awesome. They even ask you if you want to like turn it off. Who does that, honestly? Because like, but it's just the combos you can pull off. The story's whatever. Who cares? I don't know if I've ever cared about a Ninja Gaiden story in my life, but um, the whole time I've been playing this game, I'm just like, this is just a Barry game, 1,000%. Like, if you do play it, it's probably going to be in your top 10. I honestly think it will be.
Yeah, I expect it to be. Everything I
Yeah.
saw, like it is Ninja Gaiden, but it's more
Yes.
of like the Bayonetta feel or the Devil May Cry feel to it.
1,000%. Yep.
So I am happy to hear that. It was just a matter of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Just unfortunately for me, it still feels like an old game. And I
Yeah.
guess like for me as someone who just didn't grow up playing that type of game, it just is a little it's a little too clunky. It's a
Yeah.
little too non-responsive. So I am very excited to be
This one
playing that.
ultra responsive. The it's not old feudal Japan. It's like cyberpunk future.
Sick.
Yeah, it's just all that. The music's awesome. The scoring system is awesome. There are like side things you can do while you're going through the levels, which are like go find this specific person and kill them, or kill this many specific people, which is a nice little thing to do while you're going through the missions. But yeah, we're not going into these games for the story at all. I couldn't
No.
even tell you what the story is right now. I have not finished it, but it doesn't matter. Does
No.
not matter.
Yeah,
All right.
I was gonna say I was excited to play that one too.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
'Cause I
that's
gotta
what I
jump
mean.
into
I'm
that.
excited to start it. You have
It's a good
that, and
palate cleanser.
yeah,
Right.
and it's going to palate cleanse me from Pokemon.
Right.
As we roll right into that. So as I'm almost certain I am the one who's put the most hours into this. So
Yes.
your initial impressions on it.
I'm gonna start somewhere weird. Uh, because I was expecting, I've obviously watched some content creators talk about their thoughts on it because they get it earlier or they played it, at one of the showcases. I was expecting the visual thing that people were angry about the JPEG copy and paste. It feels like in certain areas that doesn't really make the town vibrant. But man, that soundtrack slaps. That soundtrack makes me upset that I know that it's just like actually I don't think Pokemon has gone straight to the Nintendo Music app, right? Yeah, they haven't added any
I
Pokemon
don't
to
think
that.
so.
Yeah, they have.
So
Oh, did they?
they have? Okay,
Not
I missed that one.
ZA. ZA is
Yeah.
not in it yet, but we have Scarlet Violet.
Okay.
You have Sword and Shield. You have Pokemon tracks on there.
That soundtrack made me upset that I would have to exclusively go to the Nintendo app just to play it, and I can't add it to other like video game music playlists that I've made myself. It's great. It has a noir feel at certain times. It's got jazz club certain times. Like it's really good and like I think different at least to my ears for a Pokemon game. So that's where I'm going to start. The visuals are not bothering me as much. It almost to me feels like a glorified or a better or a modern Pokemon Blue type of feel where like if I was playing it handheld, I think it would remind and I haven't played it handheld yet. I've only done TV. It would remind me of why I love the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games a lot. But I think where it shines is the actual combat. It's a great feel to me. I think where buttons are situated and how you have to play and dodge Pokemon attacks and at the same time manage cooldowns in real time. I think that this is I don't know if it's forward Barry, but I don't know. I think this is like the next stage of what should be normalized Pokemon games. And like correct me if I'm wrong. I think they started with Arceus, like I could throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon, catch it, and get that feeling kind of thing. But I like it. And I think that that's where they should kind of head maybe or take bits and pieces from that battling system and continue to evolve it. Other than that, my last complaint, you can't get voice actors.
That's what
Like
I
you
keep hearing.
like you can't like you can't get voice actors. I just got done playing on well I didn't finish it, but Rydell the remastered game earlier this year, one of the remastered things they did was lock up the audio and that has voice acting. And that's a remaster. I don't know. I just don't understand because it's clicking and it's very. If there's not music playing in the background, it's very dull trying to get through the text. It's
Fair.
bad. But I'm gonna shut up now. What do you think? What do you think, Barry? You got the hours. You got the love.
Yeah, so you pretty much touch on a lot of the subjects I like. I do like the music. I do find it very good. The lack of voice acting, I am completely with you. Like that needs to be a part, especially because it's trying to be so cinematic now. Like that was something that Monster Hunter didn't have, and then you had it in Wilds. And when you finally build up to the big climax, your character's actually talking and actually has like a voice to him, which just adds much more of the connection to like yourself, the player. In my head, even when the game is being cinematic, for Pokemon ZA, it still is just dull because it's empty. It's me making voices in my head as I read it, kind of deal. Uh,
That's just
which
retro gameplay, man. That's
yeah,
what we used to do as kids.
Yeah.
but for a game and Pokemon that is like this, they probably should have the money to afford even. Probably voice actors would come and voice your game for free. If I'm being honest, Pokemon is the biggest franchise by far. If people wanted to be like, hey, I want to get my name out there, like to people and have people see my voice acting work. If you do it in Pokemon, somebody's bound to play it. It's literally the biggest franchise in the entire world. I do love the new battle system. It is my most favorite part of it because it is so quick. It's don't get me wrong, there is a portion of the turn-based battling that I like, but I love the fact that it is very quick. Pokemon come out and I immediately start pressing the attack they're weak to and they're dead. It is quick, it is responsive. I hope that the Legends Arceus or the Legends series is where they continue to kind of try these experimental things because I really do think this works. Um, I really do want them to keep the like just throwing Pokeballs because it is so much better than having to get into a battle with a level 2. I have level 60s and just let me throw a Pokeball so it's caught. Like it is so much of a better way to interact with like the collecting portion of things. And that's what Legend seems to be going for. The battle systems there. I I understand people's gripes with the textures and how it's 2D and how things are kind of just painted on. I I guess this is just me being kind of used to the franchise at this point. I've never played it for the graphics. I've played it because the gameplay is fun. And I like having these interactions with the Pokemon, new Pokemon that I'm introduced to, and old Pokemon that, I've grown up with at this point. It's never been about the graphics for me. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. I understand why people are upset. This is a billions and billions of dollar franchise. There should be more put into the gameplay and more put into your world for it. But Pokemon's never been the prettiest game in the world. That's never what it's been about. It's just been about having good battling system and having a fun time with it. And it's fun. It's really fun. I really hope they decide to do this more in more of the Pokemon games. My most favorite part of it so far is the mega battles. I'm not sure how far you are into it yet, but these rogue Pokemon act almost like raid battles, like from Destiny, for example. People have mechanics. The Pokemon that is Rogue Mega Evolved has these facing attacks, and they aim at you, not really the Pokemon that much. So it's one of those things where I find it the most fun because I'm frantically dodging, trying to stay alive, but also trying to tell my Pokemon like, "Hey, do this move," while I try to collect it. The the gym battle portion, it starts to get quicker, and as you go along it's more drawn out, so it's not as quick. So there's once you get a challenger ticket to face the gym leader, for example, or the gym your promotion match to get to the next letter grade, as you go on they get a bit more complicated. Once you start getting further, the trainers start having kind of these things that you need to do before you train them or before you do your promotion match. And that I'm like, it just kind of takes away from the more fun part of the Rogue Mega evolutions. I love this. Like it is so much more fun than just clicking this Pokemon's weak to this button. It is more I get to run around and feel like I'm part of the battle because the Pokemon is trying to, for lack of a better word, make you faint. It wants you to fail, so it's attacking you for it. And that's probably the most fun I have with ZA. I think ZA is a good game. I really like it. I do have to say I hate this season season pass portion that they're trying to put onto people. So ZA has a online portion where you face 3 other trainers, you take 3 Pokemon in, and you face them, and getting knockouts scores you points. You need to get to a trainer level in the online play in order to get a Mega Stone. For example, Greninja is a Mega Stone, and you have to get it by November 2nd. I don't know if Pokemon has said anything about if they're going to be later giving it away in an event, but what I hate about it is this forces me to I have to rush through the game. Not only that, and to be fair too, I just need to say this, the side missions are nothing big. They are kind of boring, they're very simple, but it's for the lack of filling up time. This online portion would, I have to go online and be spoiled about Mega Evolutions from other people who've already finished the game. And I just think that is everything that is against what Pokemon has always tried to go for. There is always this, what does this Pokemon evolve into kind of thing, and what is this new Mega Evolution that they haven't revealed yet? Because they saved some for when you're actually playing the game. Every time I risk going online, I risk getting spoiled by a Mega Evolution that I don't know about yet. And I just think that is the most egregious thing that this game does. Like, I hope that those Mega Stones can be released to everybody at a later date, but that's not fair to people who don't. I don't have time to grind on the game like everyone else can. Like, I get a couple hours in a day, maybe an hour, and then I gotta, I'm a working 30-year-old man at this point. I have to go to sleep. I have other things I gotta do. But Greninja is one of the most popular Pokemon in recent times, and if you want its Mega Evolution, you need to play online and potentially spoil yourself on other megas that the game hasn't introduced yet. I just think that's the worst portion thing that they're trying to do. It's just, I just don't think it's fair to people who didn't go online and look up all of the Mega Evolutions when the game came out. Like, I am trying to keep this discovery portion of it still to myself, and I just think, for lack of a better word, it's BS that you have to go online and get to a certain trainer level and potentially spoil yourself because you didn't finish the game.
Right.
But you're still putting it in your top 10.
Probably, yeah. The battle system's well worth it. Very well worth it. It is the most fun in a battle system for Pokemon in a while. It's a nice difference to the Legend stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be in my top 10. It's Pokemon, and I love Pokemon. But I think the reason it's staying there is because I've kept this sense of discovery. I get to see the new Mega Evolutions as I'm playing the game, and some of these are like, wow, that looks awesome. And other ones are like, wow, what is this? What is this monstrosity they've created?
It's like Jordan sneakers, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of them you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that's a great design. Others you're like, why did they make that?
Yeah, so that's my 2 cents on it. Is it a top 10 game for me? Yes. Some of the things it does is annoying, but again, the biggest thing is like graphics. I get people complain about, but it is not the reason people play Pokemon. It's for the gameplay. The world is serviceable, is what I'll say, and it's the world is serviceable for the gameplay that they're trying to create. So that's personally what I think.
Right.
And they still have to. It still has to come out on the original Switch, so there's only so much they can do, graphics wise, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's got to play on both.
Right. There's a nice nuance to doing attacks and actually seeing attacks happen in real time. Like, Craig, Barry, you and I have played and wondered what Fire Spin looks like in real time in 3D, or Rock Slide. Like, it's just, I don't know. I know some of them look better than others, but I think it's a cool mechanic that certain AoE what feels like an AoE attack when you are playing Pokemon, obviously fighting a Pokemon one-on-one in past games. It looks cool AoE in like this game, if that makes sense. Like Fire
Yeah.
Spin matters in this game. Fire Spin is not everybody's favorite fire attack. I used to wonder why Moltres had it in the originals. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, let's get this boy flamethrower and like call it a day.
Yeah.
But like in this game, it actually does, and I think that that's a cool nuance as well.
Yeah, TMs are permanent. You're able to teach Pokemon in and out. It's like changing a loadout almost now. And I think that makes it much more flexible in how you can prepare for your fights because you're able to change the loadout really of your Pokemon.
Right.
But yeah, is there any other games we need to talk about?
I don't think
Play
so.
Play
Okay.
Keeper. It's a nice
Yeah,
cozy game.
Keeper.
It's about a lighthouse that becomes sentient, and it has a bird helper. It's really cute. It's adorable, and it looks great. There's not much I can say about the game because I beat 5 chapters in a half hour. I looked up how long this game was, and I was like, "Why am I playing this so faster?" But it's kind of like, I don't want to call it a walking sim, but it's a very nice, adorable game that actually looks quite fantastic. And Craig, I know that you have a habit of like really just at least starting up every Game Pass game to just
Yep.
play it for a little bit. I think when you get to it, you might actually stick with it. Um,
I
or
did
at
start
least,
it. Just
yeah,
I only played like 10 minutes, and then I was like, all right, I'll come back to this.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a short game apparently, but it looks great. It
Yeah, it
looks
looks
great.
awesome. Yeah.
So play Keeper, show some love.
Yeah. 1000%.
Alrighty then. We now get into movies and TV shows, which this is you guys.
All right. Spooky season. I can't remember if last time we recorded if I talked about the Conjuring or not. Did I?
I don't think you
All
did.
right. Well, all right. So I have the Conjuring, Last Rites. I have the Long Walk, and I did go see Black Phone 2.
Oh, that's a lineup.
Yep.
I saw, because I don't think I talked about this the last time. I think I did. I know what you did last summer. I
Yes.
saw Vicious, VHS Halloween,
Mhm.
and I was going to talk about, I guess, the first episode of the It Welcome to Derry
Yeah,
series,
I did watch that as well.
and then maybe we can do like a wrap up when it's done. I don't know.
Yeah.
But uh,
Go ahead.
uh, I want to hear so much about the movies you're talking. So let me get Vicious out the way. Or
Okay.
VHS Halloween I'll actually start with. So another line in the VHS series is probably like the 10th movie at this point, 9th or 10th. The only thing that I'm going to say about it, besides the fact that it's Halloween themed, is I really think that VHS is kind of on the uptick,
Yes.
where I think they had a middle section of movies starting with Viral that was a downward tick, and I didn't know if this franchise was going to be able to deliver. But the last VHS, the one that was alien based, was fantastic, and this one I think is good. I just think that the interconnecting story, it appeals to me, but it's not going to appeal to everybody. The soda trying thing that they were
Yep.
doing with like, I liked it. It just had nuances that I know a lot of people aren't going to like. So, and then Vicious, I think everybody should give a whirl. It is free. What is it free on? Paramount? It's on Paramount Plus for free. It's about a woman who is essentially in her 30s. She works a dead end job. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's thinking about going back to school. She lives in a large house that her sister owns. It's like that kind of 30s crisis. An old woman stops at her door and asks to come in from like the cold or the rain or whatever, and then she puts a box on the table and says that essentially you have to do what this box wants you to do, or you're going to die. Old lady gets kicked out. The woman realizes that she has to put some 3 things in the box that are very special to her. Um, it sounds maybe like a corny premise, but I assure you, if you stick with this one, there's some good scares and some pretty gory parts and unnerving parts as well. The box tricks her, and nothing seems what she sees like apparitions of herself. Like there's a whole bunch of things going on, and it's very demonic at times. But I think it's a great movie. It kind of surprised my wife and I out of nowhere because you're skeptical with new horror movies that don't have, I guess, one of the 5 directors that are killing it at the moment. But this one I think deserves a watch, even if you semi like horror movies. But I would not show this to anybody's as a first timer. This is definitely like a mid horror or likes horror kind of person there. So that's Vicious. And Craig, I'll be here for it. Welcome to Derry, but let's hear
Okay.
about somebody who's.
Do you, just real quick, do you feel like they have a potential star in their hands with the VHS, the one where he's making candy out of people, like that character?
Yeah, like a
Yeah, me
spinoff.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. I just wanted to throw it because like that was hilarious to me. And I was like, they could have something here.
Yeah.
Like the next, not necessarily like the next Art the Clown, but something close.
Yeah, what was his name? Oh my god, Fun Size. Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
Okay. Conjuring Last Rites. It's fine. Better than the last one, which was the one that was based on like the court case that I just found extremely boring. This gets more back to, let's just get some scares out there. This was supposedly their last case that they took. Kind of focuses more on their daughter, which I thought was kind of cool, more so than them. And it has some decent scares in it. I feel like the series has had a steady decline as the movies go on. I think they've just kind of, you led with 1 and 2, which were the heavy hitters of like their cases, and then you're trying to scrape around and find other cases that people will find interesting. I think it's definitely worth a watch if you like the Conjuring universe. But I do think we probably have enough now where we could probably move on to something else and kind of let this one die a little bit, maybe come back to it 10 years from now or something like that. But not a bad way to send it off. The Long Walk. I have not read the Stephen King book. I know a lot of people really enjoy that book. I thought this movie was absolutely phenomenal. 1,000% phenomenal. I think I might actually read the book. I think my wife owns it, so I'm gonna have to see if it's around. But I wouldn't call it a horror movie, but it is very in your face with the violence. For those who don't know, very simple premise. They pick, I believe it's, is it
Is it one
50?
person from each state? I think it's one person
Yes.
from
Yeah.
each
So you have
US state.
50 people every year, one person from each state, and all they have to do is walk over 3 miles an hour. The last person walking wins money and also a wish, anything they want. If you go under the 3 miles per hour, you get a warning. You get 3 warnings. Once you hit your third warning, they kill you. And that's, the whole premise is them walking. But the character work in this movie is incredible. Absolutely incredible. You care about a lot of the people. You hate the people you should hate. There's just, it's done extremely, extremely well. The ending, it's fine. I am not a huge fan of the way it ended, but it works. So I'm okay with it. It might end up in my top 10 this year, honestly. Um,
Okay.
I had high hopes for it, and I think it held up well. So definitely, I would say everyone should check that out. I would not call that a horror movie at all, even though they kind of tried to market it as one. Um, the general or whoever in charge of like the Long Walk is Mark Hamill, which is awesome to see him as a villain. I'm like, hey, that's Luke Skywalker, but he's a villain. Kind of cool. And then Black Phone 2. I'm a huge fan of the Black Phone. My entire family is. This movie absolutely kicks ass. Love it to death. Another one that might end up in my top 10. It probably will, honestly. I didn't know, like, if you've seen the first one, I mean, I try not to spoil, but obviously something happens to the grabber at the end of the first one that you're like, how are they going to make a second one? Right? Like, how do you
That's exactly what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Like, how do you do that, and how do you make it not suck? The answer is lean into the supernatural element, um, and definitely hint at more movies. And I'm a big fan of. Growing up, I was a big fan of like, was it Jason? Jason Goes to Hell,
Oh yeah. Okay.
right? So leaning more into like he's in hell, but he can also still affect people in the real world. So he's gone from just in the first one, a very real murderer to now a supernatural murderer, which I think is cool. Um, they could have messed it up very easily, but they did not.
Okay.
And I am extremely happy with how it how it ended. I would take another one if they're very careful on how they do it. You're getting to the point now where, like, the main character who was a kid in the first one is still a kid, but he's a much older teenager now. So I don't know how much longer you can go. But Ethan Hawke, man, just continues to kill it as the grabber, and he needs to do more horror movies. He has these two, and also Sinister was phenomenal.
Oh my god,
Like,
yeah.
and also The Purge, right? Was he in The Purge, the first one?
He was in the
Yeah,
Purge.
he
He was
needs
in
to
the Purge.
do horror movies all the time because that
Yeah.
man just kills it.
He
But
was also in not as good as the movies you listed, but Daywalker.
yes, yeah,
That's a deep cut
yep,
of
yep.
Ethan Hawke.
Um, yeah, I would say, Craig, you and your wife will love it. 100%. I think it's worth seeing in theaters. I enjoyed my theater experience very much. I don't go as much to the theaters as I would like, but that one was one that I'm glad I did. 1,000%.
I appreciate your opinion on that because
Yep.
we were those people. Like, how are you going to take something happens to the grabber? How do you
Yeah.
make an entire movie called The Black Phone 2? Like,
Yep.
and I'm now excited
They
to
did
watch
it
it.
somehow. Welcome to Derry.
Bro. No,
uh,
I love it. Number
yeah.
one, thank you. I have a couple of friends that watch the podcast that like remembered that this was on and texted my wife and I before, and they were like, "Are you guys watching this?" Like, and it just anyway.
Yeah.
Um, I'm game.
Yeah.
I'm locked and loaded. Um, one of the things that I think is an appeal of any media based off of it is you don't quite know where or how he's going to manifest. And normally, with these kids that think they're safe all the time, it happens in the weirdest spots, and you as the viewer notice 15 seconds before the kid does, or the person who's getting killed by Pennywise. So I think they started off very, very well. It's a horror television series, so you know they're going to start off with some craziness in the beginning, or a scare, or both. And I think that they kind of hit the nail on the head. I'm pretty sure social media is talking about it,
Yeah.
probably.
Yep.
But I think that it's good. The kids, they're still developing their stories. Well, they still have time to develop some of the stories, but there's also a couple of things that happen in that first episode that make me wonder where they're going with characters.
Yep.
And like Craig, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The settings there. One thing that my friend pointed out is that Craig, the one guy who was staring at the sergeant very hard, that's supposed to be Dick from The Shining.
Yes.
And I didn't pick up on that immediately, but I also love The Shining
Yep.
and a lot of Stephen King's work. So I'm locked and loaded for this series. I think it's good, and I think that they kind of set the precedent for how we're gonna feel with the whole series. So I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I really enjoy when horror movies kind of subvert your expectation on who is safe, right? Because, like, they're setting up that, like, here are your main characters, and that's exactly what they were doing. And then you get to the end of the episode and you're just like, oh, nobody's safe. Nobody.
Right.
Awesome. Like, I like that because then you're on kind of more on the edge of your seat. Like, oh, you know what? Like, I can't get too attached to anybody.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal first episode. Hopefully it all plays out well. I know we get the second one early. We get it on Halloween, so it'll be out on Friday.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting. It gives me something to look forward to every week.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for listening. Just some housekeeping as we continue to go through here with the High Sensitivity podcast. I have a lot going on just personally. I'm starting to get ready to move. So what we are going to do this time around is we are probably going to do one more podcast in November, and then we will do a bigger podcast with our top 10 games and movies / TV shows for the year, just because that gives everyone a couple extra weeks to not have to worry about recording, setting up scripts, and me having to do the editing.
Mhm.
So just as everybody is aware, like, there's going to be a little bit of a break here. Mid-November we'll probably do another one, and there's going to be another month and a half break. based on what we do from there, and based on what based on what's going on with me, we may just continue to break and then come back, kind of refresh ourselves as once everything is set up. As as life moves for a lot of us, mine's moving a lot quicker than I even realize. So I just want to thank everybody for listening and watching and commenting as they continue to have as we've updated or uploaded the podcast episodes. Hopefully you continue to just pay attention and listen to the feeds, and make sure if you see us on YouTube to share the video if you're so inclined. Like and comment what you think and what your ideas are and what you think of certain situations going on in gaming. If you are listening on your podcast listening platform of choice, please make sure just to leave a review. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. We try to edit the show and make sure that it's for everyone and that everyone likes it. So, with that being said, we appreciate all the support that we get every time we upload. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.